Right, I am kind of in shot, and I am in shot, that's fine. So we're basically really off the cuff video. Let me turn the radio down first. That's it. In fact, I need a microphone. 1 second. Lead. See if you notice a difference in sound when I plug this microphone in. It'll be an interesting little test, isn't it? Good microphone, by the way. It's made by Rode. 1 second. We are nearly there. Plug that in there. Right, microphone coming in 3, 2, 1. There you go. So now we have hopefully better audio, yeah? So really basic video today. I thought I'd go over my last week on Instagram. So I went without social media for about a week because my iPhone 10 started doing some crazy stuff. So basically what had happened was the middle of the screen just had a mind of its own. So it's just pressing those buttons and just doing all sorts, which meant that every time I opened it, it was just opening different apps and it was just going crazy. After I went to Luton Apple store to get it fixed. They don't actually repair phones there, so that was a waste of time. And I eventually got it fixed at the Milton Keynes store. So I've got a brand new screen, not actually a brand new phone. So that's sorted, yeah? I returned back to Instagram after having a week off without my phone, and I started my week, or my first day back, with this video. For the past week or so, my iPhone 10 has been doing some crazy stuff, which has meant that I ain't been able to use it, which has also meant that I haven't been able to go on social media. A whole week without social media. Trust me, it ain't been easy. Like, everything I know about social media at the minute is just a rumour, it's just something I've been told by some randomer on the street. And what's this whole Yanni and Laurel thing? Yanni and Laurel? Like, I'm walking around like it's big news at the minute. This is old news. I had an old girl on the street come up to me and say, "What do you hear? Yanni or Laurel?" I was like, "Yanni or Laurel? You sure it's not Yanni and Lenny? Like, you're getting it wrong, darling, yeah?" And whilst we're on the subject of Lenny, apparently Lenny the geezer has been in Italy at the Lamborghini factory. I've even resorted to buying some old 90s Auto Trader magazines. But anyway, I've now got a brand new iPhone and I'm very happy to announce that I am now back on social media. But going back to this whole Yanni and Laurel thing, I'm still convinced that everyone that says that they hear the word Yanni is having me on. But the reason why I wanted to do this video right now is because I done the following day, so I got back into the swing of things, and the following day I done a number of posts in my story. They're all polls asking simple questions about if you were in a position to buy or had a certain amount of money to spend on a car, what car would you buy? Is this guy about to come in here? He is, and I'm doing a video. I think it's a delivery man, 1 second. Hello mate.
Alright.
That's it.
Just take your name?
Yeah, Calvin, what's surname? F-E-H-R.
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 Okay. Just a quick squiggle off it and you're in the bomb box.
There you go.
What's up?
Thank you, mate. Printer ink, yeah, boring. So, where was I? Yeah, so I've done a series of posts in my story asking simple questions. In fact, what I'll do is let me just get a screen recording up, 1 second. Starts recording, and then you'll see this on the screen as well. So if I click archive, go back through my archive, and there's me. I picked my car up from Juicy Details as well. That was another thing that happened this week. Picked my car up from Juicy Details, done a 4K video. I'm editing that at the minute. That's going to be coming to you very soon, all right? I've also been editing the Ferrari F50 video. That's still coming. I'm hoping to have that live, depending on which way around I upload this video, either tomorrow or yesterday. Basically on Sunday at 7 or 8 o'clock, all right? So I'll have the Ferrari F50 vlog up for you. But let's get on to the reason why I am doing this video. So, the question was, assuming you've got the following budget, which one would you buy? Now the reason why I'm doing this video is because I want to tell you my answers to all these questions. Now what I've done is I chose in pairs I chose a pair of cars for every budget, okay? And I tried to make it really difficult. So if you were genuinely in this position to buy one of these two cars, I made it as competitive as I possibly could, so that if you were faced with that decision, it would be a difficult question to answer. So the first one, the budget was, let's go to it, 7.5 grand. You're faced with the choice of either going for an Astra VXR Nürburgring or an Edition 30 Golf. Now, I want to tell you what I want. This is like I keep saying, the idea of this video is to let you know what I would do in this situation. Let's just get rid of that. Personally, I think that's a bloody difficult one to decide on. I love Astra VXRs, I love the way they deliver power. They're very, don't know, when the turbo's there, it's just loads of torque steer, loads of fun, loads of drama, and the Nürburgrings, they sound a bit better than a normal one. I don't think they've got any more power, but they are they're just such a fun car. But I am a huge fan of Edition 30s. I think if I was faced with the decision to buy them two cars, I'm going to disagree with 72% of you on Instagram, and I would go for the Astra VXR Nürburgring. So I wonder what you lot are going to think to this. Next one was doubling the budget to 15 grand. If I was faced with a choice to either buy a mint E46 M3 or a high mileage E92 M3, I would again agree with the minority of you. 38% of people said they'd go for an E46 M3. That is definitely without a doubt which one I'd go for. I'm a massive fan. I love E92 M3s. In fact, it's a car that I've looked at recently as a daily car. 4-door saloon, lovely car. They drive really well, and it's a V8. What a proud thing to have under your bonnet. But let me mute that. E46 M3s, in my opinion, I've had a lot of them, and I think they are just like the legendary M3 of all time. I think they're the ultimate M3, so I'm a massive fan. The one in the picture looks like it's a CSL. It's definitely got the front bumper and the wheels, so I shouldn't really have used that picture. But E46 M3, without a doubt, I'm a massive fan. Moving on, doubling the budget again, £30,000, yeah? Faced with an M4 or an RS3. I'm a big fan of both of these cars, but to be fair, I've never driven an RS3, so I can't really say that I would definitely not go for that car, but I would go for, if I was in that position, I would go for the M4, because I just think that out of all the modern cars that are out at the minute, I think that they are the best looking bloody thing on the road. They are such good looking cars. I've considered selling my GTR to buy one because I just love the way they look. I think they look amazing. But going back to the 4-door thing again, I think personally if I was about to buy an M4, I'd probably go for the 4-door version, the M3. But yeah, that car, Yas Marina Blue as well, that is the car and the colour I'd be going for. I think they're great cars for the money, and they deliver power lovely. They're BMW, the seats are great. I could talk endlessly about them. So yeah, 30 grand. So then doubling that budget to 60 grand, you're then faced with either a Ferrari 360 Spider or an Audi R8 V10 Spider. Now bear in mind the V10 is the better one than the V8, so you're going for the top of the range Gen 1 R8, and you're comparing that to a Ferrari. Obviously the Audi is a more modern car. You'd probably end up buying like an 02 plate or a Y-Reg 2001 360 in comparison to a 10-year newer Audi R8. If I was in that position, I think I would personally go for, and I've actually had one of each before. I've got an R8 V10 right now. I would go for a Ferrari 360. I'd agree with, again, the minority of you. I'd go for a Ferrari 360. Moving on from that, £120,000, doubling the budget again. A Gallardo Performante, a Lamborghini Gallardo Performante, which is like it's a Gen 1 Gallardo. They only done one generation of a Gallardo, but it's like a facelift. So would that be called a Gen 2 or is it a 1.5? But it's basically a facelift Gallardo, but a Performante, and that against an Audi R8 V10 Plus. To me, they're both spiders as well, by the way, but for me, this is, the Performante is definitely a more special car, but I'm going to go with the minority again. I'm going to go with an Audi R8 V10 Plus because I just love the way they drive. I think they've got it all going for them. They're a V10, they deliver power phenomenally. They're 610 brake horsepower. Let's get rid of that. The gearbox is unreal. Everything about them, they're just perfect. I think they're great cars. So doubling that budget, but we're going to go a little bit more than that. £250,000. You're faced with either a Ferrari F12. I think that's not a great picture of an F12, and a McLaren 720S. What one are you going to go for? Which one would I buy? Faced with them two decisions, which car would I buy? So I've got them two cars in front of me, 250 grand. I would buy the Ferrari F12. Oh. Definitely. It's a V12 Ferrari. I'm going against the odds massively here. Every single one of you is disagreeing with me. £1 million, a Ferrari F40 or a Porsche 918. Ferrari F40. I can't believe that's not just led the way massively. I'd definitely go for Ferrari F40. But so far, I think on every single one, I've gone for agreed with the minority vote. This is crazy. £2 million. A Ferrari F50 or a Ferrari Enzo. Now, bearing in mind that I would have just spent £1 million on a Ferrari F40, there is absolutely no way I could spend double that budget on a Ferrari F50, because my phone's going crazy, because I just couldn't. So I'm going to agree with 74% of you lot on this one. I'd go for the Enzo, definitely. I've not driven an Enzo, obviously. I'd love to drive one, but look at that picture. That is a bloody. Don't get me wrong. I think F50s are probably the most attractive car on the planet, but that Enzo looks like it can have it. I think I'd struggle to not buy that if it's parked next to the F50 in the same showroom. Next, you just crashed your car. Which one are you most gutted about? I would be absolutely devastated if I just crashed my Zonda. They're rear-wheel drive, they're brutal cars. I can imagine that they're very difficult to keep on the roads, and I would know that, and if I just spun it into that bollard there, I'd feel like such a twat. I'd be like, how have you knew that this car was stupid? How have you just done that? The Veyron, obviously I'd be devastated if I just crashed my Veyron, but you can just see that's just gone at 1,000,000 miles an hour and just hit something in front. That's just what you'd expect if you were driving a 1,000 brake horsepower Bugatti Veyron. But Zonda, yeah, that's just devastating. They're special cars as well. They are extremely special cars. So there you go, that's it. And then the next day, so I mentioned there that how much do you love that rear end? A lot of people have said they love it. And then moving on from that, you've got £100,000 from 4x4. This was one that I was really curious about. Out of the following two, which one would you buy? I would agree with 80% of you. I would spend my 100 grand on an SVR. I am a big fan of G-Wagons, but I'm not a huge fan of Mercedes as a brand. That might change if I got myself in the driver's seat of a few of these high-end ones, but so far my experience with Mercedes is just a bit disappointing, I think. I don't know, but like I say, I've not experienced enough Mercs to even have a strong opinion on that, but definitely an SVR. I'd agree with 80% of you. So then I've been driving this Audi A8 it's got a management light, it's got pink floor mats. There it is in Harpenden. It came with a full tank of diesel, up and running around in that car, but that's boring. Move on, brown steering wheel, engine management light, great stuff. Now, we've got one more left to do. Put yourself in the following position. You're on your way to go and buy your Nismo GTR. There's a picture of a Nismo GTR. And when you arrive, there's a car parked next to it for exactly the same price, yeah? The car parked next to it is a McLaren 650S. Which one out of them two would you buy? 61% of you said the 650S. I just think that Nismos are so special. They are so special, and I done a video on one back in summer last year, and when you've got a Nismo in front of you, it feels like you're greeted with a celebrity. It just feels like, wow, that's actually a Nismo. Like, I know it's exactly the same as my car, but loads better, but the body is my car. But it's a bloody Nismo. So I think I would agree again with the minority of you, and I would go for a Nismo GTR.
Oh.
Then you're faced with another huge predicament. I hope you're still watching this as well, by the way. I hope you're still engaging. You're then faced with another huge predicament. Oh, go that way. You can have the Nismo GTR and be skint, so you spend your whole 140 grand or whatever they are. Or you can buy the following car and £60,000 in your pocket. Think about £60,000, yeah? So you can buy the following car and £60,000. Now, if you already follow me on Instagram, you know exactly what the following car is. But imagine being faced with this as a decision. So you turn up to your showroom, a Nissan showroom, say, or a high-end showroom, and your Nismo's sitting there ready to go. You're about to part of 140 grand for it, and the salesman says to you, do you want to buy a standard GTR instead and keep £60,000 in your pocket, or are you still going to go for the Nismo? 87% of you said you'd go for the standard GTR. My feeling on that is, if you're going to a showroom to buy a Nismo GTR, you don't want anything other than a Nismo GTR. And they're definitely not £60,000 better than a standard GTR, but they are an exceptional version of a GTR. So I think if I walked out of a showroom, and bear in mind, I think if you're about to buy a car for 140 grand, generally it's because you can afford it. Yeah, I can't imagine that you're going to be skint after you've just spent 140 grand on a car. So, as much as I would love to walk out with 60 grand in my pocket and a normal GTR, I would definitely go for a Nismo. I just think that it's a Nismo GTR, and imagine that, it's like having a chat with your mates, like down the pub or at a car show or whatever. You own a Nismo GTR, right? That's serious. So that's it. That was my week. We buy vans as well. I keep putting out the car buying shop. We also buy vans, but that's boring stuff. And there's my neighbour who loves to park like a silly billy. But do you know what? I'm not actually that annoyed about it. I just think it's quite funny. But there you go. That's my week on Instagram. I've answered all the questions because I've got a lot of questions or a lot of messages on my Instagram asking people asked me what my opinion was on all of the polls. And I thought I'd just do a video explaining it all, right? So there you go. Hope you liked the video. Hope I answered loads of your questions. Let me know in the comments below what cars you would have bought if you didn't do the poll on Instagram. I literally had on every single one of them polls about 800 people vote. That is the best conversion I think I've ever had on any. Oh, let's turn that screen recording off. On any Instagram story I've done. So I was well impressed with that. Very pleased with the engagement I got from you lot. Let's go back to it. So I got everyone involved. It's good to get everyone involved, I think. So I generally I'm the same. I like to just get involved with things, and I think most people are like that. They like to get involved with other people's stuff, and I think it's cool. It's cool to connect with people. So I hope you liked my Instagram story throughout the week. If you don't follow me on Instagram, do give me a follow, and if you like this video, give a thumbs up. And if you're new, generally I reckon most people watching this would have already subscribed to me anyway, but if I've somehow managed to attract some new people, hit subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. And if this video has gone up on Saturday, which it might well have done, then tomorrow I've got the Ferrari F50 vlog coming for you, alright? Thank you very much, bye.
Oh.